Thabo Makaota for the Legal SA Sport, coming to you from the Hector Peterson Memorial right here in Orlando Soweto, where the Springboks, the Rugby World Cup Champions, are expected to make an appearance imminently. As part of their tour parade of the William Webb Ellis Trophy. You know that the Springboks beat out New Zealand 12-11 at the Rugby World Cup final in Paris, France over the last weekend. Now the Springboks had already begun their parade this morning already in Pretoria at the Union Buildings, where they were met and welcomed and honoured by President Cyril Ramaphosa, the first citizen of the Republic, together with some of his cabinet members, including Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Honourable Zizi Kodwa. The Springboks have already made their way down from Pretoria, going into Johannesburg, where they visited Bramfontein, the Mandela Bridge, as well as FNB Bank City in Simonstown. From there, they went through Riverlea, and they also went past the Maponya Mall in Soweto, and they will be here imminently just now in Orlando, here at the Hector Peterson Memorial, before closing their Gauteng leg of the Trophy Tour Parade at the FNB Stadium in Nasrec. Tomorrow the Springboks will be in Cape Town, where they will be welcomed and honoured by the first citizen of the mother city, Honourable Gordon Hill-Lewis, before going on to the Eastern Cape on the Saturday and closing out the parade in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal. Thabo Makaota signing out. Please stay tuned with us. And as I speak, here come the Bokke. Legal SA Sport, coming to you from the Hector Peterson Memorial right here in Orlando Soweto. We are here with the Still family. They are waiting for the Springboks to come through. We know that the Springboks are on the tour parade to parade the William Webb Ellis Trophy. The Stills, how are you guys feeling about today's parade?
We're excited to meet the Boks and just to thank them for uniting our country and making us all excited and making us proud.
Mr. Still, I guess. Yep.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
So how do you feel about the tense win, 12-11 against the All Blacks? How was it for you, and where were you watching from as a family?
So we watched from home, but my sons watched from Silver Star Casino. It was very tense. All three knockout games were very tense. We thought we were going to have a heart failure. Yep. But we're so grateful that the team came through. Champions know how to win. And we're very, very grateful.
Mr. Still, how was it for you, and what do you expect from the Springboks as they're coming through to here? You're going to lose your mind for sure when you see them. Have you seen them since they landed at Old Tambo? Did you see them before, or is it the first time you're going to be seeing them today?
I have not seen them this year before, but 4 years ago we were here also.
Oh, is it?
Yes, right. As a family.
I see. Now, Mr. The younger still, your son, how do you feel about the Springboks? Would you like to play for the Springboks going forward in future? Are you a rugby person? Well, how do you feel?
Ish, given my stature, I'd probably make a very good height. I'd give even Elizabeth a challenge, but
yeah, of course.
I think I'm a bit past my time.
Yeah, and you, the youngest, still, how do you feel about the Springboks winning? We know that they are the first country to win it 4 times. How do you feel about that?
I'm very excited. I think that we are now better than New Zealand for sure.
Of course.
And I'll be the new 5 de Klerk.
Very good. Thank you very much to the Stills guys. They are here in Orlando Soweto. Thank you very much, Stills. Thank you. Enjoy, guys. Go Bokke.
Yes,
Thank you, Stills. Legal SA Sport coming to you from the Hector Peterson Memorial right here in Orlando Soweto, where we are expecting the Rugby World Cup Champions, the Springboks, imminently. They will be here very soon. I'm here with Mr. Amanda, one of our citizens and supporters of the Springboks. Mr. Amanda, how do you feel about our win in France, Paris, France last weekend? We won 12-1 against New Zealand to win our fourth, the only side that has ever won 4 World Cups in the Rugby Championship. How do you feel about that?
I feel well. I think I just correct you. We won 12-11. I think it was 1 point. Yeah, it was a great game for us to defend the World Cup, and winning 3 of our tackles away from South Africa. That was a very huge achievement. I mean, the first country to win 4 World Cups. I had an experience and the privilege of watching all 4 World Cups in terms of because of age, 95 and 2007 in France, and we did it again in Japan in 2019. And I also had the privilege last weekend while I was at home watching the game when we won the last edition, which is the one that we are celebrating now.
Might I just say that you don't look a day over 50, but that's a topic for another day. Now, going forward, how do you think that the Springboks win itself has united the country? We know that we are a very divided country. That is a fact that we cannot get away from. But how do you think this win has now at least welcome sort of united us as a country?
No, it is good in terms of progressiveness, in terms of bringing national unity. We have serious challenges. The economy is bad. I mean, you just saw the budget yesterday in terms of medium, the fiscal deficit. We basically, most people are around here not because they're really celebrating, but also it's because of issues of unemployment, Hence, you're finding a lot of people in the street. So this is a bit of having like a appeal just to numb the pain that people are going through, and we welcome these achievement. And also in terms of transformation of the team has been doing well. So it also gives hope to a black child in terms of seeing themselves through Sia, Lucanio, and other guys that are in the team, that they can be able to achieve those great heights.
Now, on the score of transformation, I just want to focus in or zoom in on this rapid development, especially here in the townships. What do you think the government can do more to bring rugby here to the townships for our boys here in the township and our girls? We know that there's also girls rugby now coming through. What do you think the government can do more just to develop rugby in the townships?
I think it's not about government per se, it's basically around the whole community. Most of the schools around the hood or they don't have sporting grounds, we have issues of space. So those are things that in terms of doing town development, we should look at that. We should look at how do we commit ourselves, not only just as schools, also governing bodies, parents, in terms of contributing, within the challenging fiscals that the government have. So there are those challenges that we look at in terms of landscaping, in terms of town planning, because most kids, they don't have sporting facilities, not necessarily only rugby per se. So those are the issues that we really look at as a community. So how do we grow those? But I think the commitment needs to come from, of course, from government, but also as corporate citizens, as businesses, your APSAs and others, in MTNs, in terms of how they can be able to help.
Now, we know that the Springboks are just expected imminently here. Let me let it go. I know that you're here with your family and friends and kids and stuff. Please enjoy the celebrations at the parade. Thank you very much. Go Bokke. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Thank you guys.
Here come the Bokke.
Here come the Bokke. Thank you guys. Sharp man. My leader. Sport coming to you from the Hector Peterson Memorial right here in Orlando Soweto. I'm here with Mr. Len Neary, who's one of our citizens and a supporter of the Springboks. Mr. Neary, how do you feel about our win, especially after the 10th win in Paris, France, the 12-11 victory against the All Blacks? It was very tense. How do you feel about the win itself before we get into anything else?
Well, it just speaks volumes, right? I mean, the rivalry between New Zealand and South Africa goes back years, and we always have close matches against them. And I was reading some stats this morning, and it's just incredible how it's always been within 2 or 3 point margin over all the games we played. So, yeah.
Now, would you say that after we won the record 4th World Cup, would you say that South Africa is now undoubtedly the best rugby side in world rugby?
Well, I mean, that's subjective, right? So, of course, as a South African, I'm going to say yes. But the point is there's so many good teams out there. I mean, I feel for Argentina, I feel for New Zealand, I feel for the Irish, and certainly France being the host nation. So yes, I mean, what Sia and his amazing men have done has certainly brought no doubt to the fact that the Springboks are a force to be reckoned with. And yeah, the best team. I mean, let's say yes for now. I'm hoping it stays that way. I hope it stays.
Now, what would you say about the leadership of Rassie and Nidaba? That has been a very pivotal sort of leadership in our rugby as a country, as South Africa. What do you have to say about the leadership of these two men in particular?
Yeah, I mean, it's always it's strange. I mean, I think people generally have a love-hate relationship with the leadership of any sporting federation. So, I mean, I don't know enough about them, but what I do know from a supporter's perspective, it's always really interesting when some tactics are used that confuse people, and so yeah, I think they've done well. And then on the other side of the coin, I love the fact that they certainly have put a lot more effort into being more inclusive. I'd like to see more, for sure. You know, I was seeing another article, read an article during this week where it's all fine and well to say that there's a good representation of South Africans in the Springbok team and the youth, but I still see too many affluent schools. So you might have a person from like Sia's a great example, coming from a really horrible background, but he was lucky enough to be picked up by a very affluent school, Grey's. I mean, if it wasn't for Grey's, would he be a Springbok? I doubt it. So, and so that's the problem I have generally, and I hope to see more of those changes happen in the future.
Just coming back to that very critical point that you raised about affluent areas being the ones who are now in the spots to be chosen as Springboks. We are now in Orlando Soweto, in the township. What would you say we'd like to see happening, or how would you like the government and the private sector, how would you like to see them developing rugby, especially in their townships? Because we know that township is not very, it's not paid on the level that we'd like to see going forward in the township. But how would you like to see the government and the private sector developing rugby in the township?
Well, it starts with facilities, right? Let alone the teachers that need to help grow the talents of these youngsters. But yeah, facilities need to be upgraded. I mean, all I can say is that around the corner from the area that I live in, and you know, I live in a middle class area. I mean, one would say that there should be good facilities, but I'm not going to name any names of the school. But the school that's within walking distance of my home, the facilities are run down horribly, and you won't find that in very affluent areas. And so I have a problem not just in Soweto, but absolutely, I mean, it makes sense for a place like Soweto and Alexandra and these townships to have, you know, why can't we have things like Craven Week in Soweto? Well, I mean, that should be a given, to highlight more of what this city has to offer, this town has to offer.
I guess that's one of the questions for grown men with grey beards. But please enjoy the celebration. If you had to say one thing to the Springboks, if the Springboks were here in front of you right now, what would you say to them, and how would you like to congratulate the Springboks?
Well, obviously I'm exceptionally proud, and I think what Sia has done, I honestly feel if Sia had to run for president right now, he'll probably win. But just to say something else just very quickly in closing, you know, I attended the 2019 celebrations, and I was in Braamfontein, and it was absolutely amazing. The decision my wife and I made to come here was, I feel bound to this country, and I feel that this is such a historical place, and I felt that out of all the places one could enjoy and celebrate with the people, because this is a people's victory, is here, and that's why we decided to come here. So going back to your question just now, the very reason I'm here is because I want to see that change happen, and why not?
Thank you very much, and please enjoy the celebrations further. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Go Boga!
Go Boga!
That was.
I feel very excited. I'm a person that does follow rugby, and I was very excited. Even all the games from the quarterfinal all the way to the final were very nail-biting and close games. So yeah, it was a nervous wait, but we are very happy. That's why we want to see them in person again for the second time.
Now that moment when the final whistle went, where were you guys as a family?
We went with the kids. I think the kids were at my cousin's place, and we were watching at some other place. But yeah, everyone in the place went crazy.
Right. my boy, who's your favorite Springbok? Sia Kolisi, 100 Pollard, who's your favorite Springbok?
Sia Kolisi.
Very good. And you, my sister?
Fafa.
Faf de Klerk, sorry. Yeah. My sister, now that the Springboks have won, there's been talks of cohesion in South Africa. We know that South Africa is a very divided sort of country, racially and otherwise, economically. What do you think this win has done for the country so far?
Man, it's like back in '95, is it, when they won?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna bring everything together, and yeah, it's just yeah.
And how would you say that the government must react in terms of rugby development, especially here in the township? We know that we are in Orlando right now at the Hector Peterson, at a very iconic spot right here at the Hector Peterson Memorial. How would you like the government to respond in developing rugby in the township?
They must incorporate it in schools, in local schools, where children can be able to participate and one day be somebody. Yeah.
Very good. Now, going forward, my brother, just this one is for you. Going forward, we know that there's a lot to be done in terms of development of the local sort of economy, local sports in townships. What would you like to say to the government in terms of development, not only of sports but of the township itself? We know that the townships are very underdeveloped. If you were to speak to, we know that the Springboks were at the union appearance this morning, where they were welcomed by His Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa. He welcomed them, he honored them. If you were to talk to Ramaphosa right now, our president, what would you say to him in terms of development of our townships?
I would say that our township sports need to be developed. Our townships need to be developed as a whole. I would say that they shouldn't just let people go. You know, you've got a lot of youngsters who are good at rugby, who are good at soccer, who are good at cricket up until matric. And then after matric, because they can't go to university and all that type of thing, those things fall away. So they must look at that little area of development, because I think that's where we lose a lot of our youth. And also they should also focus on combating drugs as well, because that's when they start abusing alcohol and drugs, and they get introduced to all these things, and that's when they could be at their peak at those ages from 18 to, let's say, 22. And if you want to catch them after that age, it's too late. So might as well have a transition from school sports and school development into adulthood.